You are now entering Dalyxman's world.
Ladies and gentlemen, what is going on? It is your boy, Dalyxman. Welcome to yet another wrestling Q&A. Now, this one is coming a lot later than it was scheduled. This was supposed to happen actually weeks ago, but things have been going on in my life to where I had to push these Q&As back, and that is why you're not getting them as often as I would like you to get them. I'm going to fix that. I have no excuse for it other than your boy Dalyxman needs to work on producing better content and doing it more frequently and often. But regardless, here you go. Here's your Q&A. This is number 92, I believe. We are getting close to 100, where I plan to interview a wrestler. Now, I have already interviewed a wrestler, Ryan Radix, if you haven't already seen it. I want to interview someone of, the mainstream tier, someone like a Booker T or Mick Foley. Indie performers, I don't mind interviewing, and Ryan Radix is an excellent wrestler. I think he gave me a lot to work with. His story and everything like that was definitely worth telling. But the goal for Q&A 100 is to get a mainstream, well-known performer. I don't know how it's going to happen, but that is the goal. I have some ideas of what I can do to get to that goal. But in the meantime, we still got numbers 93 to 99 to get through. And I have a good idea of who that wrestler, female or male, will be. So continue to watch these. Continue to send in your questions. You can do so using Facebook, Twitter with the hashtag #AskDalyxman, or just email me at justalyxsworld@gmail.com. We're going to start out with Facebook. The questions I gotten on Facebook will move to Twitter, and then we'll move to my email. But before we get to any of that, as always, if this is the first time you're watching your boy Dalyxman, and you like what you hear and you want more, do yourself a favor. Time out. Before I move on, I say that a lot. Do yourself a favor. Does that sound insulting? Like, do I make it seem like this is good for you? Like, you need Dalyxman in your life. It's like eating vegetables. Without Dalyxman, your life is miserable and you mean nothing. It means nothing without me. If it comes off that way, good. No, I'm joking. I don't mean for it to come out that way. So if it does, I can just cut that part out and just say like the video and subscribe, because really, you're doing me a favor. You know what I mean? Do me a favor. Maybe I should go with that. Okay, so apparently my internet's going in and out. Hopefully that wasn't. My internet just went in and out for a second. Am I good? I got scared for a second. Okay, I think I'm alright. But again, I don't want to come across douchey as if you're not subscribed, you're an idiot. But, I mean, for real, if you're not subscribed, what the hell? No, for real, it's one of those things where you're doing me a favor, not yourself a favor. So, let's try it this way. If you like what you hear and you want more, do me a favor, like the video and subscribe. While you're at it, if you want to help expand the brand of your boy Dalyxman, you can do a couple of things. You can like me on Facebook, follow me on Twitter at DalyxmanVX1. Donate using PayPal, Patreon, Super Chat. You can also follow me on Instagram. The links to all this is down below in the description. Email me again at justalyxsworld, Alyx with a Y, at gmail.com. And of course, buy yourself a Dalyxman t-shirt today at Pro Wrestling Tees. And I'm going to give a few shout-out call-outs here. It is Sunday night, so I don't expect a big crowd, but let's see what happens. Oh, okay. Yeah, 78 people is about what I expected. It might grow as time goes by. But to all the 78 who are here, thank you for watching. I hope you are having a great time watching the video. Let me give a shout out to the following: Maurice Colston, Adam Ritter, Bradley Xavier, MTube23, Kashoot Prince, Pikachu Black, Q-Dog in the house, Ole Sammy Ole, Daquan is Savage, New Love, T.Y. William, Heavy J, Nathaniel, Dragon's Rage, Neek Man, aka Atlanta, Spain, Ultra Shadow 97. What's up, Ultra? Good to see you, buddy. Phantasmo, the Black Nostalgia Nerd. Sure not forgetting about it. Hell Venom. Kyle Hernsberger. And last but not least, Relaxing Ghost. Alright. If I don't say your name, it's not because I hate you. I want to get to this Q&A because I got a lot of questions to get to. So, again, like the video, subscribe, and help your boy Dalyxman get to 30,000 subscribers. That is the ultimate goal. 30,000 subscribers. Facebook kicks things off with Mr. Isaiah Webb, who is constantly sending me really awesome questions. So, let's see here. Alright, here we go. If Seth Rollins thinks, okay, before we even get to the first question, I should let you know. There are like 10,000, I'm over-exaggerating, but most of the questions I have relate to Seth Rollins. So what I will do is I'm going to take this question, I'm going to read it, and then I'm just going to go in a big spiel about Seth Rollins in general, with my thoughts on him as a champion, and while answering the question, hopefully knock out all of the other Seth Rollins questions, because I'm pretty sure I'm going to cover it in this big spiel that I have. So, for all your Seth Rollins questions, if you ask me one, first off, thank you. You will still get a shout out. If I see your name, I'm going to give you a shout out. But I'm going to answer it here, if that's okay. So, back to Mr. Isaiah Webb, who is from... Dude, you got to tell me where you're from, buddy, so I can give you the proper shout out. Alright, but Isaiah Webb. If Seth Rollins thinks he is the best wrestler in the world, that's fine. But his comments about Kenny Omega and his AEW affiliation was extra. Kenny Omega is arguably, in my eyes, in the eyes of many, the best overall performer. And his resume of excellent match quality has far exceeded that of Seth Rollins. It seems Seth has forgotten that he too had to start off small to become the big guy. Now that he's done it, it seems like he's just kissing Vince's ass, something Bryan and Kofi didn't do. Simply put, Seth Rollins has turned himself heel. That wasn't really a question, but more so a statement, and it's very indicative of what has happened with Seth Rollins here in 2019. In 2018, one of the most over performers in the wrestling business, hands down. All across the board, literally top 5. Best performers, best wrestler in the business. And here in 2019, he's become the exact opposite. He has become the one thing fans hate about, well, I could just point out WWE in general. That kind of wrestler that's a kiss ass, that toes the company line, that is just there to make money and doesn't really care about anything else. I could just refer to that. But honestly, those kind of wrestlers are everywhere. So I'm just going to say that kind of wrestler that fans hate. And he is. He has become that kind of wrestler. And what has happened with Seth Rollins, again, not really a question, but a statement that I think needed to be made. What has happened with Seth Rollins is that given everything to be a top guy, he has beaten Brock Lesnar not once but twice. Something. How many people do you know has beaten Brock Lesnar once, let alone twice? He's been given the championship. He's been given multiple main events. He has been able to work as the guy. He has been given a spot that usually would go to a Roman Reigns, to a John Cena. And this past year alone, he has shown that he cannot handle it. He is horrible at taking criticism. That is one thing he needs to work on. He cannot take criticism to save his goddamn life. And as much as I would hate to say it, that's something both Roman Reigns and John Cena did very well. They knew how to take criticism and make it work in their favor. Cena became a pro at it. At first, when he got it in 2006, when he became the top guy in 2006 and he was being booed, he didn't handle it so well. But as time went by, he started to work with it. He had to. He had no choice. But he figured it out eventually. Roman Reigns, I gotta give him credit. Even from 2015 until now, he has been really professional with how he handles fans. He has never gone out of his way to say fans are stupid, are idiots, they don't deserve to be, considered fans. They're complete morons. While WWE and every other corporate suit has said that, Roman hasn't. He's always been cordial. They have a right to their opinion. That's it. The only thing that he said against fans is sometimes you're disrespectful. Just be respectful. That's it. That's something I will give to Roman Reigns. His booking has been horrible. Doesn't cut really good promos. Will once in a while have a good match, but for the most part has very forgettable matches. But as a professional, I can't knock him for that. Seth Rollins, however, comes nowhere close to those two. Anytime you get, even recently, the whole stuff about fans knocking WWE for the quality of their shows. Back in June, WWE is the best wrestling company in the world. And fans who don't like it, one of those stupid ass arguments, you're just complaining just to complain because it's cool. It's cool. Hating WWE is cool. No, you idiot. No, it's not cool to hate WWE, and you know that. And that's the thing about Seth Rollins. He's not stupid. He knows why the fans don't like the product, but when you get what Seth Rollins is getting, a push, the top guy spot, and then you're getting paid what? I'm going to assume 7 digits a year, somewhere in the millions. I'm going to assume that, right? Then you have a girlfriend who is the most over performer in WWE. You can argue maybe she lost that to The Fiend, but as of right now, Becky Lynch is the most over performer. And then you're given all of this attention. You don't want to screw that up. So, of course, he plays Mr. Corporate, but he does it in a way that's so obviously kiss-assy, and that's a word, kiss-assy. It comes across as him being a kiss-ass that it's just unlikable. Extremely unlikable. And he has yet to figure it out. He doesn't understand why fans don't like him. He just thinks we just don't like him because it's cool. No, you idiot. You make yourself unlikable. You don't see the error of what you say. And I think the worst thing that can happen to Seth Rollins in 2019 is Twitter. Well, you can argue that with a lot of sensational actors and celebrities, really. Twitter is just a cesspool of negativity in 2019. Has it always been that way? Most likely, but with cancel culture, it's really bad. It hasn't been kind to Seth Rollins. He always seems to put his foot in his mouth one way or another. And he can't help himself. He can't help himself. And people like to say that, well, it's just who he is. Okay, that's not a good quality to have, man. And then as time goes by, you can see him starting to really say some stupid things. Because what's happening is, as time is ranking up with him on top, what happens to the viewership is dropping. While he's champion, viewership has dropped for WWE all across the board. Attendances have dropped. And the sad part is, it's not like they are half-assing Seth Rollins. No, they half-assed Kofi Kingston. Kofi Kingston was half-assed. Let's just call it like it is. They gave him an amazing story to win the championship, but they didn't give him half of the attention, half of the story, the effort that they did to make him champion. They just, gave him wins, which is good, and they gave him a lengthy run, so I'm not going to complain about that. But he loses the championship in 6 seconds, and then he hasn't said anything about it since. Seriously. He hasn't said anything about losing the championship. He's just grateful that he won the title. That's a half-ass booking. That kind of booking is why fans don't care. They didn't do that with Seth Rollins. They gave him everything. They gave him microphone time. They gave him a story. They gave him Brock Lesnar. They gave him everything, and to no avail, it's not working. It's not working. You want to know why it's not working? Because Seth Rollins is showing us he is not capable of carrying the main event torch. He's not. I'm sorry. At least not as a babyface. Maybe that's the problem. He's just not a very good, marketable babyface character. This whole burn it down, it's gotten over somewhat, but he's really trying to make it like, and that's the bottom line, cause Stone Cold says, that legendary catchphrase. It's gotten over, but he's trying to force feed it as like, all right, I'm gonna say it, and then fans will say it back. Nah, bruh. It's not as over as you think it is or you want it to be. The more you force it, the more uncool it is, as you can imagine. And then the stuff with the Fiend, like let's just knock it all out the park, because I know so many questions are coming about Seth Rollins. I just want to get it out the way now. The booking with the Fiend, the whole ordeal with Seth Rollins and the Fiend at Hell in a Cell, to me was the nail in the coffin. I feel like right now, as of October 27th, 2019, the babyface run of Seth Rollins is dead. It is a complete and utter failure. Both a result of Seth Rollins himself constantly putting his foot in his mouth, but also the booking with WWE. Let's just look back at his run as Universal Champion. What has he done? He's fought in Baron Corbin so many times that I lost count, and all of their matches have been garbage. Every single one of them. The only good thing to come out of that was seeing Corbin give Becky Lynch the end of days and Seth Rollins snapping. That's it. But his entire babyface run has been nothing but Brock Lesnar and Baron Corbin. And then The Fiend comes up, and he's more interesting. He's a character. He actually has a direction. He actually makes fans want to watch Raw. He's becoming what you call, what is that? Oh, a draw. Something Rollins isn't. He's not a draw. He's an excellent performer. He's a good worker, but he's not a draw. The Fiend is a draw, as you can imagine with the way things have been going. So WWE decided, in their infinite wisdom, to put Seth Rollins against The Fiend, which we all said, you sure you want to do this? Because you already know, if you put The Fiend against Seth Rollins, we're going to go for The Fiend. Because he's the most interesting thing you got right now. And then you're going to have it be a Universal Championship match inside Hell in a Cell. At this point in time, we're all thinking, you're dropping the belt to The Fiend. There's no way in hell that Seth Rollins, if he's going to maintain some semblance of likability with the audience, you're not going to have him go over the most over performer, the most over thing you have in your company, right? They didn't. They half-assed. They half-assed their way out of it to a point where it was almost insulting. No, it wasn't almost insulting. It was downright disgusting. It was insulting, and it was damaging to not just Hell in a Cell. The concept Hell in a Cell has been damaged beyond repair now, because you create this idea that it can end in a no contest, and they've done it 2 years in a row. So the concept is almost basically dead. 1, 2, you damaged The Fiend, not to the point where it can't be repaired, but what the hell did we just see with The Fiend? Like, he was out, but then he wasn't, because after the match ended, he just came back alive and choked out Seth Rollins. But most importantly, it damaged Seth Rollins, because it turned him into the one thing that fans didn't want to see. It turned him into the corporate, Deus Ex Machina, if you will. It's that one guy that just can't lose. He just can't lose. He has to win every match. It doesn't matter whether it makes sense or not. He just has to win, because that's just how the story goes. That's the kind of booking that's ruined John Cena. That's the kind of booking that's ruined Roman Reigns. That's the kind of booking that's ruined a lot of other wrestlers. Triple H being one. The Reign of Terror. Oh, now Seth Rollins is getting it. Fans don't want to see Seth Rollins be champion. They want to see him lose. So, in my opinion, now that we've gotten there, I don't think there's any going back for him. The fans want to see Seth Rollins lose. The fans want to see Seth Rollins get to a point where he snaps. He just completely loses his shit because that's what he's been doing. And what's happening as weeks go by is that fans are testing him now. They are purposely testing him on Twitter. They are constantly giving him a hard time. Every time he posts something, they are pushing his buttons. They want to see him snap. They want him to go heel. They want him to be the villain. So give them what they want. Give them what they want. Give them what they want. Turn him heel. He needs to go ahead and just get this out of the way, because the more you ignore it, and I'm serious, the more you continue to ignore this idea that fans still aren't sore. Like, they're still, they still are sore. Ignore the idea that they're sore. Ignore the idea that they're mad at Rollins. Okay, they're mad at the booking, but they're taking it out on Rollins, if that makes sense. But they haven't forgotten about Hell in a Cell, and they won't. And the more you continue to ignore that, the more they're going to rebel, and the more it's going to hurt Rollins. So, to me, the best course of option is to turn him heel. I think, and this is how I've always felt. I've always felt this way about Rollins, but I think it's more appropriate now. I just think Rollins is a better heel than face. Sometimes that's just how it is. When Rollins was in the Shield, back in 2012, 2013, when they were the biggest stable in wrestling, and we were all debating on who would become a main event player once the group broke up. We all said Rollins would be a mid-carder. We all said Ambrose and Roman Reigns would be main event players, while Rollins would be a mid-carder, right? We all said that. And then he turned heel and completely changed our opinions. And we're thinking, oh, okay, never mind. Maybe you are a main event player, but just not as a babyface. Okay. So, time goes by, and this is how I honestly feel about this. You know, in 2016, when they should have turned him babyface, they waited way too long, and it just made things harder on him. And so he had to scratch and claw, go through a feud with Triple H where he didn't necessarily even get over all that much. He got over in 2018 with that gauntlet match. The gauntlet match on Raw, where he went, 2 hours? Somewhat, almost 2 hours wrestling, which was freaking awesome. Like, that's unheard of. That's what got him over as a babyface. And that kind of performance is what makes fans appreciate you. And that carried him throughout the rest of the year. But they haven't done anything with him since. And then now here he is, a corporate sellout. Sorry, you are. And you're winning matches that fans don't want to see you win, beating people they don't want to see you beat. And now he's going to have a match against The Fiend this upcoming Thursday at Saudi Arabia at Crown Jewel. And now we're expecting the match to not end without a winner. No, it's going to end in another screwy, undecisive finish where we'll get one more match at Survivor Series, and everyone knows that. This isn't helping Seth Rollins. It's not even helping anybody. It's going to hurt a lot of people.
Heard Wyatt was meant to be thrown of the cell.
I heard a lot of things. I heard people tell me that it wasn't supposed to end the way it was supposed to end. It was supposed to end with, that and referee stoppage some kind of way. And I'm hearing all of these other alternate endings, and I'm going, none of this solves the issue. The issue is you booked a match that should not have been booked in the first place, and because you can't come up with a winner, both men got hurt. Everyone gets hurt. Everything got hurt. Everything got damaged. And so now you have to play, do collateral damage. You have to do this whole idea of booking yourself out of the corner you booked yourself into. No one told you to do Seth Rollins versus The Fiend. You decided to do that, WWE, so now you're paying for it. So, I will say this. Your only option now, you have two options. You have you can figure out a few more options, but here are my two options. turn him heel, have Rollins go heel, and at least if you have him go over the Fiend, he'll have heat. You can make him work with that, which is, I hate saying it, but that's just how it is. You know WWE doesn't have the balls to put Rollins over the Fiend. They'll probably do something in these next 3 months where he'll just keep escaping the Fiend without the Fiend actually losing. But you can give him that heat as a heel, and he'll be able to work with that, at least, right? Or you have the Fiend beat him. That to me seems to be the only course of action. Those are the only 2 courses of action. If anybody else can come up with something else, please do. But I can't figure anything else out. I don't even know why we are even here. But we are. It is indicative of what WWE is, what it has become. And quite frankly, I don't know what else to expect at this point. I shouldn't be shocked, but I am. I'm shocked that they managed to take something like The Fiend. Hell, I am shocked that they managed to take someone like Seth Rollins and just completely turn him into this unlikable piece of crap. He is. He's unlikable. He's not cool. The Fiend is cool. So naturally the fans will gravitate to The Fiend. But yeah, Rollins, the only thing they can do with him now to salvage his career is to turn him heel. They probably won't, but that's my thoughts on that. So give me your thoughts about Seth Rollins down below. Hopefully things will work out. Maybe by this time next year, things will go back to normal with fans loving Seth Rollins and, just getting over this. But it ain't looking good for him. Because even after this whole Fiend and Rollins feud is over with, fans won't forget this. They won't. They'll try. They'll try to make them forget it. They won't forget this. He's done. Sorry. I'm sorry. Rollins is done as a babyface champ. So just turn him heel. Because at least, like I said, at the very least, if he still gets heat from this, he can make it work to his advantage. Alright. So hopefully that answered all your questions. I'm still going to give shout outs to the people who asked me a Seth Rollins question. But in terms of Seth Rollins, that's all I got to say. Next question from Isaiah Webb. Thoughts on Private Party? Great team. Mark Quinn and Isaiah Cassidy? Isaiah Cassidy and Mark Quinn, right? Regardless. Great team. Very athletic. Very fun. I know a little bit about them from watching The Elite and stuff. But I want to know more. And if WWE, I wish. Yeah, right. WWE would probably treat them like jokes. AEW is what I meant to say. If AEW manages to give them at least some kind of a segment, some kind of a show or something where they can get their personalities over, I can see them being a mega hit in the wrestling business. And that's the thing about AEW. They have this platform. They have the capability to create legitimate stars in the business. But they need to do more segments, more character development, more storytelling with them. Once they have that, we're done. We're set. But they have got, I gotta keep putting this out there. They have got to do more promos. Matches back and forth, back to back. Matches are awesome, but if you're just doing matches, bro, you're not gonna get much character out of that. I'm just saying, you gotta get these guys some segments. But I think they're a great tag team, absolutely, no doubt about it. I just want more out of them. What's your stance on high impact moves like flipping pile driver, not finishing matches? So I go with the story. The story of the match is what I care about. For me. And this is going to sound a little old school for modern day fans who don't mind the PWG style. And every once in a while, the cruiserweight, fast-paced, hard-hitting action kind of, packed action kind of match, it's useful. It's very useful. I can't praise the match between Will Ospreay and Ricochet back in 2016 during the Super Junior Cup in New Japan Pro Wrestling. I think, just to answer your question, if you're doing 3 flipping pile drivers and not a single one of them gets you the victory, you better have a story to explain that. Otherwise, you just killed a finisher. Simple as that. I see these moves, and you know what? It's not just in WWE, it's everywhere, even in NXT and AEW. I see these moves done. Freaking Lucha Bros did a front flip pile driver off the ladder through a table to the Young Bucks. And I saw that spot and went, there is no way anyone should get up from that. That would be the Astros. My family just went crazy because the Astros are in the World Series.
He ain't home in a long time. He was due.
Astros just hit a home run. Now Astros are killing it right now. And I'm doing the Q&A while the Astros are playing. Yeah, so, yay Astros. Woo! Astros. All right, back to this. If you're going to do all these high impact moves, and you're going to have someone kick out of it, please let there be a legitimate story to it. Like, I like this past week on AEW, we had Jon Moxley take on Pac. Jon Moxley hits Pac with the double arm DDT. There's 10 seconds left to go. And he hits him, and then it takes him like 5 seconds to cover him. So he doesn't cover him right away. He gives him time to breathe. And so he goes to the pin, and then Pac kicks out, and the time goes out. It was awesome. I thought the ending was great. It created a lot of drama. And in that instance, I'm okay with people kicking out of high-impact moves. But if you're just doing it just to do it, it just gets to a point where it's like, okay, guys, we're just wasting finishers. You know what I mean? Like, if I have to hit you with 3 front flip pile drivers, and then I have to do another move to finish you, at that point, it's like, how the hell does anybody beat this guy? You know what I mean? So, a good example of this, and I gotta bring this up, Adam Cole versus Gargano in the 3 Stages of Hell. What was it called? 2 out of 3 falls match, which was really a 3 Stages of Hell match. People's main complaint about that was the final match where Gargano had taken 4 or 5 front flip pile drivers going out the ladder, and he still kicked out. And that is a legitimate reason to want to not like the match, quite frankly, because it's like, how does anybody do that? Just saying. But it does kind of get on my nerves when I see people kicking out of moves that they should not be kicking out of, or when I see a finisher that should have closed the match not in the match. You know what I mean? But that's just me. I'm an old school minded mentality fan. To everyone else, whatever. Okay. Thank you for the question, man. Let's go to, let me see. I want to be sure I catch all the questions before I move on. Yeah, this is all of Isaiah Webb's questions, so thank you, Mr. Isaiah Webb. And if you can't hear me, I apologize. My family's going crazy right now because of the Astros. So, you're getting live reactions of the Astros game. Alexander Shavers from Atlanta, Georgia. He has 2 questions for me. Oh boy, this one's about the Shorty G gimmick. Can't wait. This is a huge maybe, but what if the Shorty G gimmick could be the greatest thing? Finishing the question. Could be the greatest thing for Chad Gable's career, which could lead to a huge championship run. I'm assuming you saw SmackDown, right? I'm assuming you saw the Space Jam outfit with the big ass G on his jersey, looking like a bootlegged basketball player. And what makes it even worse, the G had a ruler next to it. There was a ruler inside the G. Holy crap, he's not short. He's average height. Okay, he's smaller compared to the other big guys, but Jesus Christ, he's average height. If you watch SmackDown on Friday, which most people didn't apparently, he was standing right next to Ali, and they were literally the same height. So when fans look at this guy saying, well, people are calling me short and I embrace it. I'm a short guy and I'm going to embrace who I am. People are looking at him like an idiot. Dude, you're not short. Oh my goodness. It would actually be something. Like, guys, listen to me. As stupid as the gimmick is, because it really is stupid, no matter who has it, it would actually be something worth merit if he actually was short. Chad Gable is 5'9". He's average height. He's not that short. If he was 5'2" or 5'3", I don't know. How tall is Rey Mysterio? Rey Mysterio height. Then you can at least go with the story of he's doing this for his people. And then it's like, all right, maybe this could work. From the get-go, this was a stupid angle because he isn't short. He's not short. And now he looks like an idiot. There's no way in hell this guy could be a world champ. Yes, he's an excellent wrestler, and despite the fact that he has a stupid gimmick, he still is able to get people to care about his matches. The problem is, you're just making it harder for him to get over. Nobody thinks this is entertaining. This is not entertaining. And then you hear him on social media, I don't know what interview it was, but he did this thing where he talked about the gimmick, and he talked about how he's grateful to be getting something, and although he loves to wrestle, in WWE, the whole point is to entertain. He's towing the company line. You want to know why he's towing the company line? Because he realized, I'm not getting TV time. And this is the only thing I can do for people to recognize me and let me be on TV. I understand what he's doing. I get it. I feel sorry for him. And I hope he manages to make it work. If this motherfucker is able to get this over, he deserves to be world champ. You deserve to have all the titles if he can get this over. I don't think he will. But if he does, man, all power to him. Regardless, it ain't going to happen anytime soon. Everyone looks at this and goes, this is stupid. This is dumb. And so when you come in with that bad first impression, now you have to work extra harder to get over. So, nah, it ain't working, buddy. Sorry. Do you think the Fiend Bray Wyatt could get back all of his momentum and heat by being booked to win both the WWE and Universal Championships? I don't think he even needs to win a championship to get back his momentum. He just needs to look dominant. Because as of right now, he hasn't lost a match. That's what I'm saying. Like, you don't really have to lose. You don't really have. What was I about to say? Okay, let me try this. You don't really have to win a championship to get over. Hell, you can lose matches and get over. Look at Orange Cassidy. I don't think Orange Cassidy has won a single goddamn match in his career. And he's one of the most over characters in wrestling right now. You don't have to win every match. It's not about... Oh, Jesus, I'm gonna sound like Road Dogg. When it comes to getting over and connecting with the audience, it really shouldn't matter whether you win or lose. And I can't believe I just said that. But I said it in context. Wins and losses do matter in wrestling. When it comes to getting over with the audience, though, as long as you form a connection, that's all that matters. Bray Wyatt is cool. He's new. He's unique. My biggest fear with Bray Wyatt that would kill his momentum is, well, him running out of ideas, honestly. That's it. If it gets bland, it gets boring and repetitive, and he runs out of ideas, that might kill him. So there you go. Yeah, you don't need to win championships. It would be nice. Just keep him strong. No one wanted to see him beat Seth Rollins. They just wanted to see him wreck shit. That's it. And if you go back to doing that, we'll be good. But knowing WWE, he'll lose a couple of matches down the road and he'll look weak. Because that's just how they do things now. They're idiots. Alright. Challenge for you. Every week I will find a short clip for you to react to your podcast, and I want you to give your thoughts and opinions on it. Try not to get angry or upset at the topic. Okay. So he gave me a video to watch, so I'm going to react to it. I will play it over the speaker, but I don't know. Let's see what happens. All right, here we go. This is from Booker T. Reacts to criticism of his Hall of Fame inductions. Okay. What's up, Booker? Hit me with it. Sucker!
Yeah. And then you were the second guy announced as going in to be a two-time Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
And then in your same class, there's a guy named Shawn Michaels who's done a lot.
Yeah.
And then a guy named Bret the Hitman Hart.
Yeah.
So, everyone on that list you could say is one of the greatest of all time.
I mean, everyone on that list is literally top 10 in the world.
Yep.
Of all time.
Of all time. And when I hear people, sometimes say, well, I mean, yeah, what matches do you remember from Booker T? When I see the list come out, a lot of times, my name's a lot of times is not even on the list. And when I see that,
what list is that? Like a top 20 or something?
Well, Mark Henry said I was the number 8
Best
black wrestler that ever lived. So sometimes it baffles me, man, what these suckers be thinking about as far as, my place and my standings in the business, man. I was literally one of the greatest that ever put on a pair of boots, and I'm not, toot my own horn or anything like that.
But you know how good you were.
But I knew how good I was, and I knew how great my brother and I was as a tag team.
I already stopped the clip. There's. Should I play? No, let me just stop real quick and just get my thoughts on that. Do I think Booker T is one of the greatest to ever lace his boots? Yeah. You kind of have to give it to him. Is he top 20? Absolutely not. I love Booker T. He's a Estonian. I want to interview him one day. The thing is, again, if you was to tell me to name the top 10 greatest black performers ever in wrestling, yeah, I kind of would put him in top 10. You kind of have to put him in top 10 because how many of them are there? like seriously, how many black performers do you know did what Booker T has done? Other than Kofi Kingston, and The Rock's black. He's Samoan, but he's half black too, so he's black. Just saying. So by default, yeah, you would be in the top 10 if that list existed. I might actually do that list one day. I might have to do that list. That's a good list to do. Subscribe and let me know if you want to see it. But in terms of overall, all time, dude, there's way too many people I can put over Booker T, and I love him. I love him to death. I think if you have a top 50, he deserves to be on there. But top 20, maybe top 20 tag teams, but as a singles wrestler, I don't. I think there's too many wrestlers. I'm sorry. I personally would put Booker T in the top 50. Gladly. Wholeheartedly. If there was a top 10 greatest black wrestlers of all time, absolutely top 10. Tag teams, top 20 for sure. But in terms of overall, ever greatest of all time, let's finish the rest of the clip.
Never got a chance to work in the WWE, and then got denied to go into the Hall of Fame. So I mean, before a great, a tag team that I thought should be in there already, the Nasty Boys. You know what I mean? My homies, my friends, and I'm like, man, I'm lobbying for them to get in because we got in. I was like, man, if we got in, you guys got to get in because they worked there.
Yeah, they
you know
worked
what I mean?
at the
They worked at WCW. They worked there again. You know what I mean? So I tell you, man, as a singles wrestler, man, I mean, I did it all. I actually did it all. And it was, look, It wasn't by accident. We got this new kid on WWE right now. I don't know who he is, but he's showing out right now. He's looking.
He's doing great.
He's looking real good.
He's looking like you look back in
You
the
know
day.
what? He might be one of my students from back in the day.
You never know.
You never know. But
you think that your legacy is cemented, right? I mean, I know
Astros,
sometimes
bro.
these lists come out, but I mean, I think that the accolades speak for themselves.
you know
The
what?
two Hall of Famers. Let me
You
see the two Hall
know
of
what?
Famers. I mean,
You know what? You
those
know,
really speak for themselves.
They speak for themselves. But my thing is, man, it does bug me sometimes. You know what I mean? It really does. It does bug me. I'm not gonna sit here and say, no, it don't bug me, man, because
Okay, and that's essentially the clip. Again, I respect Booker T. I would put him in top 50 because that's where he deserves to be. You gotta give him some credit. Like, he's done way too much to not be on someone's top greatest of all times list. He's been a multiple-time world champion. Five-time WCW world champ. He's won every single title you can possibly win in WWE, except for the WWE Championship. But he's been a world champion. I don't see why he can't be in the top 50. But he thinks he's one of the greatest of all time. As in, like, he should be up there with the Shawn Michaelses and the Hogans and the Rocks and the Harts. And I'm just like, I love him, but that's not a place for him. Sorry, that's my wholehearted opinion on that. So thank you for watching. Thank you for the question. Charles Mitchell has 2 questions. One of them was about Seth Rollins. But as always, I thank you for asking the question. I've already talked to them about Seth Rollins, but I'll answer this question. Why do you think the shareholders of try this again. Why do you think the shareholders and the board of directors haven't relieved Vince of his duties already? Well, when you're running a company this successful as WWE, you kind of get attached to the success. And you get attached to the things that brought you that success. Vince has brought a lot of success to not just WWE, but the wrestling business in general. So you've gotten attached. When you get attached to that kind of success and the things that make it work, you don't want to stray away from it, no matter how bad it gets. And what's happened here is the people running the show, people who are in charge, have gotten so attached to Vince McMahon that they're willing to run the company into the ground just to stick with it. Just to stick with him. I don't think that's a good thing. I think it's a very bad thing. I think, honestly, you should be more attached to the success than the thing that made you successful. You get what I'm saying? You know, I'm never going to take away anything from Vince McMahon. I think Vince McMahon has done well enough to deserve everyone's respect. If he didn't exist, we wouldn't be here. Y'all wouldn't be talking to me about wrestling. I wouldn't be having a wrestling channel. Nothing about wrestling would even be noteworthy. Still, I feel like I'm gonna sneeze. Okay, now. Still, Vince is old now. He's senile. What worked for him back then doesn't work now. And what we have are people who are attached to him and not the success that he brought. And because of that, they're gearing the show to pleasing him. And in turn, we're losing the success. And I think that's sad. I think that's absolutely ridiculous. But that's WWE for you, man. That is what they try to do. That is what they have. That's the situation they have put themselves in. And there's not much else we can do about it other than to just watch. And I don't know, man. I don't know. Just watch and just shudder at the idea that a company as great as WWE once was is going to end up crashing and burning. So I'm going to take a quick break. I'm not going nowhere. It's just going to be about 5 seconds, but I'll be right back. Give me 1 second. And we're back. Thank you guys for waiting. Okay, next question is from Hunter Smith from Birmingham, Alabama. Do you think ROH will collapse in 2020, or do you think they will bounce back after this year of bad booking or poor attendance records? It ain't looking good for ROH. I'm just letting you know right now because, first off, I haven't heard a single thing about the company. It's not creating head. I heard more about Impact Wrestling than I've heard from ROH, and I think Impact Wrestling is on the. Well, it's always been on its dying legs, but even now I'm like, y'all not gonna last that long. But I think ROH is in worse shape than Impact Wrestling. I think the best thing that ROH can do is either share their promotion to an even bigger promotion, like maybe combine with Impact. Because I'll say this, Impact and ROH could use that merger. If they merge with Impact, they could do something with that. Or better yet, merge with AEW. You know, get with a bigger company. You know what I mean? Like, I don't really see this idea of having multiple TV wrestling shows working out for everybody. Eventually, someone's going to take a hit. I think ROH has taken one of the biggest hits out of all the wrestling companies. And do I see it lasting very long? Not really. But Impact Wrestling has escaped death more than once. So maybe ROH will be the exact same thing. Don't see it happening, but we'll see. Rohan from London. Am I still a fan of the Kofi Kingston character? As of right now, no, I'm not. How the hell are you going to lose the championship in 6 seconds and then go about this whole, I'm cool with this smiling baby face, power of positivity? That's so unrealistic, and quite frankly, it just makes me feel stupid for investing in him. So as of right now, no. Maybe they can turn it around by having him go to the dark side, but as of right now, I don't give a shit about Kofi. Because he didn't give a shit about his title, he doesn't give a shit about himself. So I don't give a shit about you. Do you think Big E should leave the New Day? I think the New Day should split up, period. I think the act has run its course, it's worn out its welcome. It had a great run. They don't need to be together anymore. What, 4 years? Oh, that's plenty. 4 years is plenty. You can call it a day. Maybe you can reunite them, have a reunion one day, but as of right now, split them up. What character gimmick would you give Xavier Woods? I would make him a manager. I think Xavier Woods is better as a personality than a performer. I think as a performer, he's good, but he is not going to do anything inside the ring. So his best course would be manager. I would make him the manager of Kofi Kingston. I would turn Kofi Kingston heel. I would turn Big E babyface. I would have Kofi and Xavier doing a gig together and let them do their shtick while Big E goes off and does his run as a top babyface. And I guarantee you, if they push Big E as a babyface, he will get over. I don't know. I feel like I have more confidence that Big E can make it work now than he has before. Because I've seen his personality and I've gotten to know him a little bit. So, he can make it work. See what happens. I think he could. Josh from Sacramento. Is it about Seth Rollins? Of course it is. Seth Rollins has been one of the... I enjoyed the presentation. Top of that, he's... With that being said, honestly, I don't think he's... Somehow my question is, who's in most fault? Seth Rollins' presentation, Seth Rollins, WWE. I already answered that. WWE and Seth Rollins are both at fault. Who's more at fault? Rollins. I think who's more at fault... Okay, actually, no, I'll take that back. Who's more at fault? WWE. I think Rollins, although he put his foot in his mouth, he could have been okay. He could have been salvaged. But you kind of have to give both the blame for that. David Herbert. Well, thank you. Well, first off, thank you, Mr. Josh Sacramento, for the question. David Herbst. Why I keep saying Herbst? It's Herbst. But anyways, David asks, maybe I am missing something, but if Vince McMahon is purely to blame for majority of the problems, why doesn't the whole WWE roster and WWE creative do what they want to do, despite what Vince wants? He can't fire everybody. That's just not good professionally, dude. You can't listen. Vince McMahon is out of touch. Everyone knows that. I don't care what anyone says to hide it. He is senile. He's an old kook. And he's micromanaging literally everything to the point where nobody can do anything. And no one wants to work for him. Because he's old. He's out of touch. That's a fact. Now, with that said, you cannot break... I call it business code, but there's another word for it. You can't just go around breaking rules and disrespecting ethics and, just going against a lot of codes in the business, dude. It's just not a good look. Because my thing is, alright, if you did it here in WWE, how I know you won't do it here in AEW? So you don't like something, you're just going to do whatever the hell you want? That's not how it works, buddy. That's not how it works. You can't do that. Look, I know you want people to find their own path to getting over. And you're right. There is a few people I feel who could do better without the micromanaging. But don't do it in the way where it's complete mutiny. You see what I'm saying? You don't want it to be the inmates running the asylum. You gotta have some structure. You gotta have some control. That's my answer to your question, honestly. There's nothing else to really say about that. But thank you for it. Nathan from Elwood, Indianapolis, right? Indianapolis? 2 questions. Do you think AEW taking shots at WWE will eventually bite them in the ass? As long as it's settled, fine. If they do too much of it here and there, yeah, it kind of will. Especially if they're nowhere close to being on the same level as them. It can get pretty rough for them. With that said, though, it's been subtle. The only people catching well, honestly, I was getting ready to say the only people catching the digs are WWE or hardcore fans of wrestling, or WWE or just wrestling hardcore fans. Here's the problem: AEW is geared to hardcore fans, so maybe it isn't a good idea. Well, we'll see. Do you think Chad Gable and Rusev joining AEW would be a good idea once their contracts are up? I don't want this to be a trend where all the WWE rejects go to AEW, but those two, they need to make an exception for. You should definitely grab Chad Gable. That should be someone they should snatch up immediately. Rusev, who knows? I don't know if we should grab Rusev and Lana. They could. That one's a maybe. We'll see. David from Sacramento, California. He asked me 2 questions. I hate the name The OC. Okay. It keeps reminding me of that show Fox had. How would you feel if the Undisputed Era Finn Balor and OC merged into a cross-brand group called Bulletproof? So Bullet Club. A legitimate version of the Bullet Club. Well, I'm not gonna lie, that does sound kinda awesome. I can imagine Finn, AJ, let's say this. Let's say Finn is on NXT, AJ's on Raw, and the Undisputed Era get moved to SmackDown. And then every once in a while, you see them breaking rules and going across brand and being like this overarching dark cloud over the entire company, like the NWO. I can see that working. If WWE didn't already ruin this idea that wrestlers can go to other brands with this stupid-ass wild card rule. If the wild card rule didn't exist and they respected the brand splits, that would have been an amazing idea. Because then you would really be watching all the shows just to see what the Bullet Club would do. The Bulletproof would do. I like it. I think it's a great idea. It's just... I don't know if it'll work now. Which era match would you like better? HBK before his WrestleMania injury versus HBK after his return. Lesnar versus Lesnar. Pre-UFC Lesnar versus post-UFC Lesnar. Or Doctor of Thugonomics Cena versus Fruity Pebbles Cena. The Shawn Michaels match. The Shawn Michaels match. Oh, Jesus Christ. Old school Shawn Michaels versus post-return injury, post-return Shawn Michaels. You can't get better than that. That's a match I would pay to see. Eddie Lamb music. What do you think would have happened if the audience on the main roster went out of control? This is exactly like, what's his name's question? Would they cut to commercial or stop the show? They just lost control of the show? I'll tell you this. If WWE lost control, they would probably air it. I think they're so desperate for attention, for some kind of a reaction, they would air it. Okay, we lost control of the roster this day. And then they'll somehow try to force the talent to bend to their will. And this is what they'll do. This is how WWE solves everything. Okay, how much is this guy making? Double it. That usually shuts them up. Seriously, that's how they got Mike Kanellis to re-sign his contract. That's what they're doing with Rusev right now. I don't think you've heard about this, and I think someone asked me this question. Did they ask about Rusev? I don't think so. I might just talk about him anyways. But as of right now, Rusev is currently in contract negotiations. And the thing WWE does, and I hate this, what they're doing with him and Lana and Bobby Lashley is they're telling the story in ways to where if Rusev signs the contract, he'll look good in the storyline. But if he doesn't sign the contract, he will embarrass, as in Vince McMahon, will embarrass Rusev and Lana on their way out. As in, Rusev will lose to Lashley, and then Lashley will basically treat Lana like a slut and then toss her to the side. I don't know. I just think it's a lose-lose situation anyway. You might as well leave. But what they usually do is, all right, what's his payment? How much is he getting paid? Okay, double it. And that's how they stay. They were going to pay Cody Rhodes 7 digits, somewhere in the millions, to not leave. And he still left. Isn't that incredible? I don't know, man. I just think it's not something WWE would be worried about in terms of why fans would stop watching the show. If the roster goes out of control, they'll just air it. And then make the talent bend to their will. And then we'll just go on with the rest of the year. Thinking about the talent going rogue, but it leading to nothing. Let's see here. Vince Russo, bro!
Brawl for all 2 coming at y'all real soon, _carrot.
Oh, no. Don't tell me that. Okay, so internet just went crazy there for a second. I apologize if it did. Hopefully you guys heard that. Let's see here. Demetrius from Milwaukee. How do you feel about Jack Swagger take on WWE creative team saying they purposely sabotage talent? He said that? I didn't actually hear that. Did he actually say that? I'm looking it up because I do want to see what he's talking about. Well, if he did, I can't find it. Someone can find me the article. I'll read it. But if he did say that, he's right. They do sabotage talent. You want to know why they sabotage them? Because they don't do what they want them to do. It's their way of punishing them. It's like when you have a dog and you try to train that dog and it starts to bite you back. You punish the dog until they do what you want them to do. This is Vince McMahon's way of punishing wrestlers to make them do what they want him to do. It's ridiculous. Let's see here. He's right. Jack Swagger is right. They do sabotage wrestlers. That's their way of making real wrestlers bend to their will. Let's see here. Mike from Canada. Do you see Finn Balor being involved with Undisputed Era? No. I think that was a tease, and simply a tease. Al from Brooklyn. Do you think... Okay, Seth Rollins. Do I think he's salvageable? I have no idea.
Bro, Lana on pole match coming at y'all instead.
Sure, I'll take that. Watch them do that. You don't think WWE would do that? They will. Okay, do you think Seth Rollins is salvageable? If they turn him heel, yes. Who's more likely to be the first female wrestler to win a world championship? Tessa Blanchard, Charlotte Flair, or Becky Lynch? Well, guess who's going for the Impact Wrestling World title? Literally very soon as of next year. You guessed it, Tessa Blanchard. So, Tessa's my answer. Because of the backlash regarding WWE 2K20, I heard about that. Do you think they could have delayed the game for another 6 months to get it right? I think they should have just gave up because the game sucks. I hate 2K WWE games. I'm going to be biased. I don't care. Nothing has beaten. Please tell me I still have the games. Where are my PlayStation games? Where is it? Is it back here? I don't remember when I put my PlayStation games at. Look, I am a fan of SmackDown vs. Raw, the series, or the SmackDown PlayStation series, everything before the 2K WWE games, I loved. The worst one being SmackDown vs. Raw 2008, which was garbage. But other than those games, other than that game, those games have all been amazing. So, sorry. I don't give a damn about anything when it comes to WWE 2K20. Raheem Isaac, from Florida, do you think NXT is suffering of low ratings have to do with Raw and SmackDown? No, it has to do with AEW. Listen, you guys know this. If AEW didn't exist...
2K20 has more bugs than a 1980s motel.
I mean, damn. That's a lot of freaking bugs. Do people get refunds? Did they get their refunds back? Because I heard that PlayStation was going to give refunds to people who wanted to turn in their games. That's pretty bad. What question was I on? Raheem Isaac. Do you think NXT is suffering ratings because of SmackDown and Raw? No, it's suffering from ratings because of AEW. If AEW didn't exist, most of the people watching would be watching NXT. And I think we all know that. Which would indicate, let me see. If we combine the viewership of both NXT and AEW fans. Because, let's see. NXT had 1,060,000. It'd be at least like a 1.7-ish. Well, the highest ratings... The highest ratings they got 1.4 and 891, right? That was the first week. So about 2.2 million. So, yeah, I would imagine around 2 million fans would be watching NXT if AEW didn't exist. But what happens is, because neither show is growing their audience, they just split the crowd in half. You just took the 2 million people who wanted to watch wrestling. More of them chose AEW. The other half just kind of watched NXT on the back burner. That's why it has low ratings, because AEW. Let's see here. Mr. Keon Cody from Augusta. Do you think more UFC fighters will transition to WWE? Probably, but please don't oversaturate the roster with UFC talent. I don't mind them coming in if they actually can work. Not just inside the ring, but as a character on the microphone. Bring them in. But don't oversaturate the main roster with these UFC talent, because you can't make the other wrestlers work. You'll just not make the UFC guys work. You're just giving us more shit. That's all you're doing. Do you think... What? Do you think can legitimately beat Brock Lesnar? Oh! He's asking me, who do I think? Who do I think can legitimately beat Brock Lesnar from UFC? I don't know. I don't watch UFC. What was his... Conor McGregor? No, he's too small. Lesnar would tear him in half. Next question. Thank you for asking. Moses from Miami, Florida. Do you think... Oh, Lord. I think Seth Rollins is full of himself. He's cracking under the pressure. I already talked about Seth Rollins. Next, Indianapolis, Indiana. What's your favorite style of wrestling? Old school. I like storytelling. I love the kind of match where you have two wrestlers, you've taken time to establish them. You have given them characters. You have built up the villain. You have a clear villain and a clear hero. And the villain's been built up. You built him up. You built him up. You built him up. You built him up. Here comes the hero, the babyface, to take him down. Those kind of matches, I live for that, bud. That's just classic storytelling. Like, if you watch any kind of superhero cartoon, that's just how it is. But okay. Do I think AEW lacks a juggernaut or juggernauts? Not really. It has Chris Jericho, who's a juggernaut. Jon Moxley's a juggernaut. Jim Ross is a juggernaut. Does it need more megastars? Yeah, but quite frankly, they don't need them. They could create their own stars. That's what's killing me with AEW. You don't need to bring in a Seth Rollins or Triple H or Randy Orton. You can create your own stars. Just tell more stories. Steve Jacobson from Rogersville. Should Chad Gable just quit WWE? At this point in time, yes, but he won't because he really wants to see if he can make this work. I don't know if he'll be able to, but at least he can try. Daniel from Southeast Ohio. Who do you think will win the AEW Tag Team Championship? Oh, that's going to be the Lucha Brothers. Yeah, Pentagon Jr. and Phoenix. They're the best tag team in the world. The best tag team in the world. Bar none. Hands down. Moving on. Next question. Mark Joseph. Who do you think AEW's NWO moment will be? What do I think AEW's NWO moment will be? And who will be involved? That's a good question. I think we already kind of had it with the Inner Circle. I guess the Inner Circle is the NWO, right? I think MJF, if I'm going to do the whole, oh my God, he turned on him, you fans can stick it, brother, kind of booking, MJF turns on Cody, and then he joins the Inner Circle. There's your NWO moment. Wouldn't that suck? Alright. So, Graham from Sheffield, England. I see WWE sheep hate in WWE. Try this again. I see WWE sheep hate in AEW, and AEW smarts hate on WWE. Stupid question, but do you feel in 2019 it's like a crime to enjoy more than one wrestling show? It is not a crime to like more than one wrestling show. You do not have to pick a side. If people are pressuring you to pick a side, tell them to screw off. You can like all wrestling shows. There is absolutely nothing wrong with being a fan of wrestling and just a fan. You don't have to be Team AEW only, Team WWE only, Team New Japan only. You can be a team of wrestling. You don't have to pick sides. So don't feel pressured to pick a side, ever. Lance Clearman. Sup, Dalyxman? What's up, buddy? He is from Mississippi. Mississippi. He has two questions. One for AEW, one for WWE. Okay. Well, actually, it's three questions, and it's two for WWE and one for AEW. So let's answer the WWE ones first. Will NXT War Games 3 be the last takeover to be connected with a WWE pay-per-view? From what I hear, Triple H, because NXT is its own brand, he wants to start experimenting more with off-the-cuff NXT takeovers. So, maybe? Although, I don't see why you would not have a takeover during WrestleMania weekend and SummerSlam weekend. Like, you can have it here and there throughout the year, but you gotta have a takeover of the weekend of WrestleMania and the weekend of SummerSlam. You got to. That's how you do the best business, right? That's what I would think. But other than that, I can see them experimenting more with off-the-cuff takeovers here and there. If John Morrison returns to WWE, would you like to see him face Seth Rollins? I wouldn't be upset at that match, actually. That sounds like an awesome match. I would want Morrison to win, and I want Rollins to be the heel. Actually, no. Hold on for a minute. Let me take that back. Would I want Morrison to be the... Because Morrison is an excellent heel. Something to think about. What do you guys think? How many years would it take for AEW Dynamite to get better in ratings? How many years would it take AEW to get better in ratings? I don't even think it would take that long. I can see them growing their ratings by January. People just think because they're losing ratings now that they won't grow. Guys, they have low ratings right now because they don't have any... AEW has a lot of issues. Part of it is their lack of storytelling and their lack of promos and interviews. When you don't establish talent, you don't create characters, you don't give people a reason to stay. So they only tune into the pay-per-views. Right? Okay. With that said, that doesn't mean they can't create characters. It doesn't mean they can't start doing stories. That doesn't mean they can't create investment. AEW just got started. Guys, you guys gotta understand something. This is still a new company with people who are still new to running a wrestling show. Right? Okay. So, just to assume that they're gonna have this long trial and error period where they're low in ratings, no, guys. It's not gonna take that long for them to start popping in ratings again. They just gotta wake up and start doing storytelling. They can do it. They just gotta do it. That's what it is. Like, you can do it. You are capable. Just do it. That's it. So it's not going to take them that long. I can see them starting to get better by the beginning of next year. If not by the end of this year. Who knows, man? Daniel Lee Munoz. Close. Daniel Lee from California. Ontario, California, with all the wrestlers that have with all the wrestlers that have or had letter nicknames: R-Truth, Big E, Triple H, Z Gangsta, A-Train. Who had the best nickname and the second worst nickname? Triple H is the best one, honestly. Although HBK kind of stands out, Triple H is the best one. In terms of what you're asking me, wrestlers that have had letter nicknames like HBK, Triple H. Worst one. Astros is killing it, apparently. It's gotta be Shorty G! Okay, I mean... You must be missing an awesome game, goddamn. Well, Shorty G is the worst one. By far. If there's a worse one, please tell me. Brett T from Alexandria. Is this Minneapolis? Yeah, sure. Well, what are your thoughts on Forbes' interview with Roman Reigns, McIntyre, Anderson, and Luke Gallows blaming the fans with a Hell in a Cell finish? And Anderson saying we are master storytellers. Ha! I'm not going to give too much thought to the Forbes interview. They basically gave them the corporate interview as you would expect. That's all it is. I pay no mind to it. I hate when wrestlers try to make the fans seem like the bad guys when they're not. The fans are reacting to how bad your show is. As simple as that. Your show sucks. And so they react accordingly. There ain't no, oh, well, well, the fans are doing this, we don't like the what chants, insert stupid reason here. No. Fans will give you respect and will show you the appreciation that you deserve when you give them good shit. When you actually do tell stories, when you actually do have a good wrestling show, they will show you the respect that you have earned and you deserve. But when you don't give them good stuff, they're gonna give you a hard time, and you deserve it. Bradley Xavier. Let's be honest, the draft sucked. However, about an hour before the show, I created a mock draft with wrestlers traded to distinct rosters. I've categorized with the alignments of every wrestler into a main roster scene, mid-card ribbons, and tag team division. Just wanted your thoughts on whether it was better. Okay, so he wants me to compare his list, his draft, to the one we got now. He has the following people on Raw: Bray Wyatt, Samoa Joe, Daniel Bryan, Kofi Kingston, Roman Reigns, AJ Styles, Drew McIntyre, Robert Roode, and Randy Orton. And is this all Raw? Oh, this is just the draft picks. Oh, okay. Okay, Ricochet, Cedric, Eric Young, Rusev, Lars Sullivan, R-Truth, Bobby Lashley, Shinsuke Nakamura. I like that. Apollo Crews, Sheamus, Baron Corbin. Yeah, I agree with Corbin going to SmackDown, honestly. I don't like him on Raw. Titus O'Neil, Mike Kanellis, Mojo Rawley, No Way Jose, Asuka, Ruby Riott. Asuka should have gone to NXT, but okay. Ruby Riott on Raw, sure. Nikki Cross, Carmella. Nah, Carmella should have gone to SmackDown. That was a good choice. Liv Morgan should have gone to SmackDown. That was also a good choice. Wait, is Liv Morgan on Raw or SmackDown? She's on Raw. Screw it. Fuck. I would have sent her to SmackDown. Peyton Royce, Billie Kay, sure, why not? Sasha Banks on Raw? Not SmackDown? Okay. Charlotte on Raw. Okay. Mandy Rose, Lacey Evans, Lana Tamina. Goddamn, what does SmackDown have for women's? We'll get to them in a second then. War Raiders, Bludgeon Brothers, OC, Heavy Machinery, New Day, Ascension, Street Profits. That was Raw, now SmackDown. Lesnar, Owens. Yeah, Owens should have stayed on SmackDown. I don't even know why I moved him to Raw. Mysterio, Aleister Black. Either or. Raw and SmackDown. Cesaro should have gone to NXT. I'm still going to keep saying that, but I guess if you got to pick Raw or SmackDown, SmackDown works. Seth Rollins on SmackDown? Sure. Andrade Cien Almas, The Miz, John Morrison. Ooh. Well, Seth Rollins and Morrison are heels. I would turn one of them face. You want them on different alignments. Braun Strowman as a face, absolutely. Gargano. You moving Gargano to SmackDown? You got a lot of balls, dude. For real. Chad Gable, Kalisto, Buddy Murphy, Sami Zayn, Heath Slater, Drew McIntyre. Drew Gulak, Sin Cara, Finn Balor as a heel. Good choice. EC3 as a heel. Good choice. Shelton. Benjamin. Ziggler. Okay, here are the women. Becky Lynch, Ember Moon, Natalya, Naomi, Nia Jax. Oh, Lord. Nia Jax, Nia Jax, Bayley, Mickie James, Sonya Deville, Zelina Vega. Zelina. Let me see Zelina. The Usos, The Revival, Jeff Hardy, Matt Hardy, Arthur Pain, Lucha House Party, Zack Ryder, Kurt Hawkins, Primo, and Epico. I like it better than the main draft, but there are some issues that I would change, but it's not bad. Jarrett from Dallas, thank you for the draft, I suppose. Jarrett from Dallas, do you think the Stone Cold Stunner would have gotten over as big as it did if Austin never added the kick to the stomach to set up his finisher? Yeah, the kick to the Stunner, the kick before the Stunner does add that bit of an to it. I think he still could have gotten over, though, because it's Stone Cold Steve Austin. Johnny from Virginia. Hey, Dalyxman, how's your Sunday going so far? It's going good, man. Thanks for asking. My first question is, do you see John Morrison making a surprise entrance into the Royal Rumble? If he has been signed by WWE, he will return at the Royal Rumble, and it will be awesome. Whether he's a heel or a face is to be determined. With Seth Rollins being one of the most boring, oh my goodness. Should he turn heel? Yes, I've already talked about Seth Rollins. What's your opinion on WWE trying to buy? Oh, I love this. What is your opinion on WWE trying to buy Noah and make it NXT Japan? And my thoughts on New Japan buying Stardom. So, yeah, WWE wants to buy Noah so he can turn it into NXT Japan. I don't think that's a good idea. I hope Noah refuses. And I hope they continue to be their own Japanese wrestling promotion, quite frankly. But New Japan buying Stardom, that is perhaps the best thing they could have done. If you don't know what Stardom is, let me explain. So, there's this Japanese female promotion. There's a Japanese term for female wrestlers in Japan. I forgot what it's called. But it's basically a female-only Japanese promotion with Japanese female wrestlers that wrestle just like men from New Japan. I haven't seen a lot of matches. I've only seen a few. From what I've seen, fucking amazing. So just imagine Tetsuya Naito and Kota Ibushi having a match, right? Now imagine if they were women. That's exactly what you would have in Stardom. And I think New Japan realized, okay, if we're going to go global, if we're going to compete with WWE and AEW, we need a women's division. So they bought Stardom, and now Stardom is a part of New Japan Pro Wrestling. That is a great move. I thought they should have done that a long time ago, honestly, but I'm glad they did. And so now you're going to start seeing Stardom performers wrestle on New Japan Wrestling, New Japan Pro Wrestling. We might get to see the first match happen at Wrestle Kingdom. Dude, that is a great move on their part. I think personally, if you were going to bring in female wrestling to New Japan, that was the way you do it. So I'm very excited to see how Stardom and New Japan make things work out. Adam from South Carolina, what are your early predictions for Crown Jewel? I had none because I'm not watching the show. What's your opinion on AJPW? What the hell is that? All Japan Pro Wrestling. Okay. In the 1980s, 1986 to 2001 period, and Kawada versus Misawa match, 6-star rating. I have no opinion on either of those things because I've never seen them before. Should I watch that match? The heck? Well, thank you for the question. Let's go to Twitter. So the next few questions are coming from my Twitter. My Twitter. Send me a question using the hashtag #AskTheLexman. Let me see who I got here. I'm pretty sure I got some recent ones. Alright, Ace Anthony. What can AEW do to improve its women's division? First, introduce more women and tell stories. That's all you gotta do. You gotta introduce the women. You gotta get a variety of women. It's just the same women over and over again. It gets tiresome. Get new women and vary it up. Roster rotation is very important. Steve Washington. What exactly makes NXT versus AEW a war? Let me just read the rest of his question. Okay, yes, NXT is under the WWE umbrella, but they're not valuing NXT as its own entity. The feud is relatively young with some jabs thrown, so theoretically, isn't it an AEW versus NXT battle? What are you talking about? Sorry, I just had to do that. It's a war. It's always been a battle? What the? Some people just. I'm sorry, Steve Washington. If you want to unsubscribe, if you want to block me, I don't care because I need to roke you, buddy. But what is your logic, dude? That makes no sense. It's a war. It is literally a battle between two brands, NXT and AEW, and they're going head to head. If anything, they're just getting AEW is kicking NXT's ass right now. But when fans had to literally go back and forth between watching NXT and AEW and trading viewerships, we call that a war because that's exactly what Raw and WCW did. Okay. Sorry, I hate when people just in their heads they like to justify their illogical way of thinking, and then they bring it to forefront. No, dude, that doesn't make any kind of sense. It's a war. Just call it a war. Stop trying. It's a battle. No, goddammit, it's a war. Just say it's a war. Sorry. Okay. Yeah. This is definitely gonna have to be talked about. What are your thoughts on Jordan Myles and the whole thing about WWE and his T-shirt? So, those of you who don't know what this guy's talking about, let me pull it up. It should be up on my Twitter page because I retweeted it. All right. So Jordan Myles has been on social media literally the last 24 hours, complaining, and when I mean complaining, I mean justifiably complaining about his new T-shirt. And I'm just gonna show it to you. We're gonna talk about it real quick because this needs to be talked about. So here's a T-shirt. Again, here's the T-shirt without me botching. Okay, see that? That's a T-shirt. And here is his tweet. We're gonna pull up his tweet now, which is literally above the T-shirt, so I just moved it up. All right, I'm waiting for it to. There it goes. It reads, "I will keep posting this till my voice is heard. I am not sorry for anything I say or do. Representation is important. If this is Vince McMahon and Triple H's vision of me, then this is a slap in the face to every African American performer, fan, and supporter." So my thoughts on the shirt. Right off the bat, this is a horrible design. Like, who would buy this? Like, seriously, why would anybody okay this and think people would spend $25, $30, $40 on this shirt? This is lazy. It's lazy, it's incompetent, and alone, like, guys, my shirt has more appeal than that. I don't like to brag about my T-shirt, but I have a shirt too, and it has a lot more appeal than this. This is stupid. And apparently the idea is Jordan Myles smiles a lot, so it's supposed to be a smile, and it's supposed to be with teeth. But what he's upset about is what it kind of looks like, because it looks like blackface. Which, when I look at it a little bit more, yeah, it does. So they probably should have, they really should have watched out when they made that shirt. They brought that storm upon themselves. So it's all. So not only is it a terrible shirt, one, it's a horrible design, it's lazy, but it's also just an overall bad look because it does remind people of blackface. So apparently the story goes they took the shirt down and they put up another shirt that's even more lazy, and we're gonna look at that shirt right now. Let me find that shirt real quick. So let me see. I'm going to go to, do I want to pull up a Google? Yeah, let's go. Let's pull up a Google. All right, so let's see. What's his name? Not Jason Jordan. It's not Jason Jordan. Jordan Myles. Jordan Myles. WWE shop. Let's yeah, .com. Let's look at the new shirt. Because I'm very curious to see what the new shirt is. Okay, they pulled that shirt. Old design. Alright, so here's, I found it. Here's the new design. The heck? Okay, not that. Okay, I'm just gonna show you this new design real quick. So here, let me make it bigger. So here's the new shirt design. Hopefully you guys can see it. That's the new shirt design. Uh-oh. Sorry about that. Hold on. That's not what I wanted to do. Okay, something happened to my internet. Sorry about that. Try this again. Here's the new shirt design. I hope you guys can see it. There it is. Alright, so immediately you'll notice it reminds you of cartoons. Okay, it's not. Alright, well, it looks like a Looney Tune poster, honestly. And is it better than the last one? Yeah, but it's still pretty crappy. Like, really crappy. They need to really work on their t-shirt designs. Like, the design of their belts, everything has been complete and utter garbage. So, we gotta do better. Do I think it was supposed to be taken to this degree? Do I think that people are blowing it out of proportion about it being blackface? Yeah. I don't think WWE is that racist. I don't think they're racist. I do think they're stupid. I do think they're lazy. I don't think their intention was to make fans think about blackface. Come on. It's a little bit, a little much. Everything shouldn't be about race. But it is a very lazy shirt. It's a poor design, and I agree that he should have gotten a better shirt. Simple as that. I agree with his plight. I agree with him speaking up about it. Do I think he should have used social media? There are different ways to get your point across, but I'm actually going to defend him here and say, yeah, this is stupid. Y'all should know better than to ever make a wrestler promote such a crappy t-shirt. Triple H, here's what I will say. If that was Triple H's shirt, people would have gotten their heads put through walls. Corey Payne, what do you think of Jake Hager's fight Friday night? The one where he kneed the man in the balls? I didn't see it, but I think it's hilarious. He should use that as his gimmick. The ball kicker, the ball kneer. 2 questions from FC20 or Funky Chicken. Have you seen Joker? Yes, I think Joker is amazing. I love the premise of it. Not going to spoil anything. I thought Joaquin Phoenix was an excellent Joker. I love his rendition of Joker. Do I think it's better than Mark Hamill's or the Dark Knight Joker? No. Heath Ledger and Mark Hamill are just untouchable. But Joaquin Phoenix, I feel like, should be at least in the top 5 best performances of Joker of all time. For sure. I think he did that good of a job. But he's not better than Heath Ledger or Mark Hamill. My personal opinion. Susan! What's up, Susan? What do you think of Roman Reigns now? I don't think much of him. I don't hate him. I just don't feel anything about him. I think what's happened here is WWE has put him in a place where fans can't necessarily give him too much hate, but they can't really feel the need to cheer him on either. He's in a safe place, a very safe spot on the card. Okay, I mean, it is what it is. What are your thoughts on MLW? I watched a little bit of MLW. I like it. I might have to check it out a little bit more. I don't know. Nothing else to really say about that. Let's go to my email, Just Alex's World. First one I see here is from Augusta Mills. Guess what his question's about? Seth Rollins. And he asked me basically, what do I have to do to make him the most popular wrestler again? I'll read it, and I'll at least read it to make him feel like I know what he's talking about. So here's Augustus from Atlanta, Georgia. Seth Rollins is my favorite wrestler of the WWE roster. He has been there for 4 or 5. He has been my favorite wrestler for 4 or 5 years. Let me try this again. This time in English. Seth Rollins is my favorite wrestler of the WWE roster. He has been that for the last 4 to 5 years. I know that the fans are starting to turn on him. While I understand his behavior on social media is questionable at times, but I feel like fans are being too hard and being unfair. I feel like Seth Rollins should not be blamed and be booed because of the bad booking from Vince McMahon. Thoughts? Well, it's like I said in my big tangent on Seth Rollins. Like, he doesn't deserve all of the blame. I think WWE deserves most of the blame for why he's being booked. So, why he is being booed, why people don't like him. But he deserves some of it. He can't get off scot-free from this. All right, the final question, and then I'm going to get out of here. From, let's see, Matt X216. Matt from Cleveland, Ohio. What's up, Matt? So here we go. What's up, Dalyxman? What's up, buddy? Since Survivor Series is only a month away, what are some of your predictions for that show? Personally, I do not want to see another Raw vs. SmackDown because it means we would have to see Brock versus Seth again. Jesus Christ, shoot me. I would love to see Bray versus Brock. So, here's my prediction. I do think Rollins and Bray will have one more match in Survivor Series. I think Brock is going to fight Rey Mysterio. If not Rey Mysterio, he will fight Dominic. Or he'll fight both of them. Brock versus Rey and Dominic. Which honestly would be an awesome goddamn match to watch. I want to see Brock versus Dominic and Rey Mysterio. Book it. And if Dominic wins, Rey gets the championship. I would pay good money, but the problem with that match is Rey is on Raw, so we can't see it even if we want to. Goddamn. Well, why not? Screw it. I mean, Brock I mean, Bray's gonna fight Rollins again. They're on different brands. Why not do Rey Mysterio versus Brock? So screw it. I'm going with it. Predictions for the other stuff. AJ Styles, Universal Champion, will fight Kevin Owens because they've already set that up. Again. Nakamura will fight Daniel Bryan. That's a match we have been waiting to see for a while. Finally, we're gonna do that match. Tag teams. Revival will probably fight the New Day. Woo! AOP will fight the Viking Raiders. That should be a good match. Women. Charlotte will probably fight Becky again. And then Sasha and Bayley will probably fight for the women's tag team titles. I don't goddamn know. I don't goddamn care. At this point in time, I just want to get past all this Saudi Arabia stuff so we can get back to regular WWE programming. But other than that, guys, I think those are all the questions. So thank you for another successful Q&A. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope this stream wasn't too bad. Be sure you like the video, subscribe, and give me your thoughts on everything we talked about. I want you to get your thoughts on Seth Rollins. Should he turn heel? Leave it down below in the comment section after the video is posted. But other than that, thank you guys for donating. Thank you guys for making me a part of your day. I will see you tomorrow for my Raw review. Outside of that, this is your boy Dalyxman signing off right here in Dalyxman's World. Go Astros! I'm out. Peace.